Hey everyone! So this is the first actual video that I'm filming in 2019. So hi! Happy New Year! This is a very special video because today, the day that this video is getting uploaded, is 1 year since I had my total colectomy, which is the surgery that removed my colon and gave me a stoma. So it is Mona's 1 year birthday. 1 year birthday? Anniversary? I'm not entirely sure what to call it. I'm actually having some friends over this evening to celebrate because I'm extra like that. Just with everything that has happened in the last year, I feel like I want to mark this occasion, I want to reflect, and I also kind of just want to celebrate. For me, putting like a positive spin on things really helps, rather than being like, oh, a year ago today, I had life-changing surgery and was in loads of pain and really ill and it was horrendous. More like a year ago today, my life changed, I got my health back and proved to myself that I'm much stronger than I thought I was. So I wanted to talk about what my life is like now, 1 year on from having the surgery, 1 year with a stoma, how I manage it, and I also asked for questions on Twitter and Instagram, so I'm going to answer some of those as well. So I had my surgery on the 14th of January 2018, and before that I'd been in hospital for 2.5 weeks with a severe flare-up of my ulcerative colitis, just not feeling great at all. Like, that is an understatement. It was horrendous. And then after my surgery, I was in a lot of pain because of being cut open, and I was very weak and I still had to like wean myself back onto food and stuff, but I didn't feel ill anymore. Having that surgery was, such relief. I was just like, get this diseased thing out of me. So the first thing I'll say is I think I've adjusted really well. I adjusted quite quickly. I got the hang of how to empty the bag and how to change the bag, and I've never been super grossed out by it, so there wasn't like this massive hurdle that I had to overcome to like look at it, touch it, properly like clean it and things like that. One of the biggest struggles this year is having my care in loads of different hospitals and just being completely all over the place. There's been like no one person overseeing everything that's happening to me, which isn't ideal. Just before Christmas, I had my first appointment with my new consultant at my new hospital, and I also met the stoma nurses there. So I feel pretty good. I feel like my care is like under control and all in one centralized place. I managed to get all of my discharge letters from all of the different hospitals and like get them all scanned and like send them off so everyone has got the pieces of paper that they need. I think my organizational nature lends itself very well to being a patient of the NHS because you kind of need to do a lot of the work yourself. So my health now, the stoma, who I've named Mona, has been behaving very well. She's pretty chill. I have had one leak in the whole year at home. I had many leaks in hospital, but I think that was because of the stoma changing size, and also they didn't have the bag that like fit me. But leaks in hospital are fine. I had one leak at home here, like very shortly after moving house on our new mattress, and very devastated by that. What happened was, in the night, I was just farting, and the bag filled up with air, and it got to the point where it was so full with air that the pressure of it only had one way to go, and that air pressure like peeled the seal off. And that seal is strong. So my farts were just even stronger, clearly, and so it pushed the seal off and then leaking. I still have to get up in the middle of the night to go empty my bag, but what I've been trying to do is set my alarm later and later and later. So I used to set my alarm for about 3:30, and now I set it for like 5 a.m. In the hope that I'll wake up naturally in the middle of the night to go empty the bag. But just in case I don't, there is a later alarm to wake me up to make sure I go empty it so we don't get any leaks. That is one of the big things that annoys me. I didn't get any sleep whilst I was in hospital because they're constantly like waking you up to do your observations in the middle of the night. And now with having to wake up in the middle of the night every night to go empty the bag, I have not had a full night's sleep in a year. And when I say that out loud, I kind of want to cry because I love sleep and I really value getting like 8-9 hours sleep. And that is kind of what I get total, but it's always broken up. It takes me like 3 minutes to go to the toilet, empty the Stoma bag, get back into bed, and then most of the time I can just fall back asleep straight away. So I'm never awake for very long, but I guess I am a bit concerned about if that makes me more tired. I have to stay in bed for much longer because I'm just like exhausted. I'm like punishing myself for being lazy, but I'm like, is it because I have to get up in the night to empty my bag, or am I actually lazy? And I don't know which one it is. Maybe this is internalized ableism, you know, maybe it's probably that, but I don't want to be lazy. I want to be able to get up in the mornings. But I also want to sleep. So another thing that I mentioned in one of my previous videos about having a stoma was I was getting rectal mucus. Now, this is going to get graphic, guys, so you're welcome. So basically, I still have my rectum. It's completely like sealed off, and your rectum produces a mucus to help lubricate poos coming out. But obviously I don't do that anymore, but my rectum doesn't know that, so it still produces this mucus, and every so often I'll just be sat on the toilet having a wee or whatever, and then mucus will kind of like drop out. I don't really have any control over that. I can't like push it out or anything. It just kind of dribbles out. It's only ever on the toilet. It's not like I'm just shitting myself mucus constantly. But one of the other things that has happened is I've had some inflammation in my rectum, which means that there is blood and pain. And this pain, like, it's really difficult to describe because it's very different from the abdominal pain that I would get with ulcerative colitis. But basically, I get the phantom poo feeling of like needing to do a poo. And it's like really urgent, and it's like really painful, but it's not painful in my abdomen because that's not where the inflammation is. It's like painful in my butthole. It's so weird. And then I go to the toilet and I'll pass mucus, but it will have blood in it. Sometimes it feels like the entire rectum that is inside of me is going to go inside out and just like fall out. I don't think that's possible. When I was having the colitis pains, I would sit on the toilet and I'd be like deep breathing, and I'd be focusing, and I'd just be like quiet and silent and like trying to like get through it. Whereas with these pains, because of that like pushing sensation, it feels like you're trying to push a watermelon out, but actually it's just some dribbles of mucus. But even though I don't think it's as painful as the colitis pains, I can't do it silently. When I'm pushing, I literally, like, my body just, I scream. Like, I'm literally, I don't want to scream right now for you because that would be a bit weird, but I can't help it. Like, my body is just like yelling, and like I can't help this noise coming out. And so far, whenever I've had these pains, I've been at home and I've been in private, but I am very terrified and very nervous about it ever happening in public, because I do not think I would be able to control myself, because the pain and that pushing sensation, it's like, I don't know, I've never had a baby, but maybe it's like labor, like you just scream. But this happens very rarely, although I think it kind of has been getting worse, and I've been using these suppositories, which are just like little pill pellet things, and I just put them at my bum every night. And that, for the most part, clears it and is pretty good. But every so often I just get it and I'm literally sat on the toilet for about 30 minutes screaming. La 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 la. I kind of want to talk about a positive thing now. A positive thing would be that I am now very involved in the like stoma and like Crohn's and colitis online community. I've met lots of really amazing people, and that has been so helpful to kind of have other people to talk to about these things and kind of laugh and joke about some of the weird stuff that we do. Like, I just love watching her poo. Like, I can get so mesmerized by just sitting there and just being like, oh, as like poo comes out. It's so fascinating, and I love that feeling of like feeling it against my hand. Like, I'm just like, oh yep, she's being active. I always wonder that if I ever get the reversal and so I don't have a stoma anymore, whether I'll miss that and whether I'll like put my hand on my tummy expecting to like feel something, but nothing will be there. I don't know. I want to be able to feel it against my hand, but I also want to be able to watch what it is that I'm feeling. This is a really niche problem. I have talked for so long, so I'm gonna do some questions now. There were a lot of questions, but I'm just gonna do a few of things that I don't think I've covered. One of the main ones is, am I going to have a permanent stoma, or will I get the reversal surgery to create a J pouch? Basically, because I still have my rectum, my stoma isn't permanent, and there is the option for me to have a further surgery to create a new bowel out of my small intestine, and that would be a J pouch. But then there are other things that come along with having a J pouch. So my stool would still be really loose, and I would be going like 4 to 6 times a day. So I would basically be like emptying it out as often as I am with a stoma bag, but instead it would be coming out my butthole again. And then the other option is having another surgery to remove my rectum and then having a permanent stoma, because there's like an increased risk of cancer that you can get the longer you have your rectum just like hanging out there. So I will have surgery again at some point in the future. I just don't know when, and I want to put it off for as long as possible because I don't know what I want. If my rectal bleeding and the pain continues, it might be a case if I don't have a choice and I just have to have the rectum removed if the inflammation gets worse. On a day-to-day level, having a stoma, fine. Every day, I'm good. But the moment I think of it as forever, the moment the concept of having a stoma forever comes into it, I want to break down and cry. And I don't want that. So yeah, don't know what else to say about that. So how does showering work? So I tried showering without the bag on, like taking a bag off, having a shower, and then putting a new bag on. But just pooing in the shower just got too messy, and I was just like, I can't be bothered with this. So now I just shower with the bag on. And that's absolutely fine. And the bag that I have like dries really quickly, so no problemo. Do I miss pooing? No, I don't miss pooing. I think I miss the satisfaction of like that feeling of like a morning after poo. They're always really good. What was the most important thing I've learned? And I think the thing that I've learned is just how adaptable human beings are. And I genuinely believe this is why we are the dominant species on this planet, because of how well we adapt. So there were also lots of questions about my mental health journey and body confidence. So I feel like I've talked about body confidence a lot. Having the surgery and having a stoma definitely took a knock, but I'm generally good, I think. I really like the scar. I think it's kind of cool. I sometimes have like insecure moments, I think. Like every so often I'll just like look in the mirror and just like wish that I could see my body again without the bag on and without a stoma. But they just kind of happen quite fleetingly. To be honest, my main issue at the moment in terms of body confidence is just my boobs. They're just too big. I hate it. They're so heavy and so painful. But that's like a whole different issue. My mental health has been fine this year, for the most part. And my mental health now is like pretty good, especially now that I feel like I'm getting back into work and I'm feeling productive. But I definitely still want to get therapy to just be able to say all of the shit that happened, really, because it was hugely traumatic. And I think most of my trauma is in the time before surgery of when I was ill. Me and my mum both keep these like 5-year diaries. She was writing down all of the details, like Hannah had this infusion today. We waited up until this time for someone to come and give her a new cannula because the old one wasn't working. And Hannah ate a whole bag of cheese and onion crisps today. She sent me a picture of it the other day, and I tried to zoom in and like read, and I couldn't really read her handwriting very well, but I kind of got the gist of it. And I don't know, my body kind of had like a bit of a panicky reaction just to kind of being confronted with the details of Go get therapy to deal with what happened when you were ill in hospital. Fuck. I'm fine. Another question was, what's the best thing about having an ostomy? That one came up a lot too. And the best thing is not having to hold in farts, because I have no control over the farts. And also, you smell a fart, it's not me, because you cannot smell that stuff like through the bag. It is all very hygienic. And then the final question I want to answer, I don't know if I've mentioned it anywhere before, but it's about having an orgasm after surgery. And I felt like this was appropriate, seeing as I talk about sex a lot as well. I found it really difficult to orgasm after surgery because of the surgery of cutting through my abdominal muscle and my whole stomach. You need those muscles to orgasm. Like, you need to be able to like tense and use your core in order to like get over the edge. For a while, I would get to the brink and then it would just lose it because I didn't have the physical strength. But it didn't take very long at all. In fact, I was still very weak and like using a walking stick and still quite hunched over and not being able to stand up straight or walk very far. And I could have orgasms. So the orgasms came back quite quickly, but it was definitely very weird, them disappearing. And I was a bit nervous that I would never be able to again, but no, we persisted, we got the core strength back, and then in came the orgasms. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for sticking with me this last year on this weird, wild journey of my health. Seriously, when I was in hospital last year for so long, I kind of thought that, well, this is the end of my YouTube channel because the algorithm and I've not uploaded for weeks and blah, blah. But no, you guys have stuck with it. I found new audiences through making content about stomas as well. If you do have any other questions, let me know in the comments and I'll try and respond to as many as possible. Please do subscribe because I make new videos every week, and give this video a thumbs up for Mona, and I'll see you soon. Bye!